What's up, everyone? It's Normatico here, and I am back with another review. Fresh on the heels of my review of the Nexus Pro X, I went back to the Walmart where I found that one and actually picked up the Aeon Pro X. Now, I picked that up while I was actually on my way to a Nerf meetup slash competition, and it had to be used, so I cannot do an actual unboxing for you today. However, that doesn't mean I can't review it. Now, the Aeon Pro X was released in 2024 in spring. The original Aeon Pro was released back in October of 2020, manufactured by Dart Zone, released under the Adventure Force brand, very similar to the Nexus Pro and the Deuce Pro. I can only hope that the next release for Dart Zone is going to be a Deuce Pro X. We will see. Now, regarding the actual Aeon Pro X, when it was actually released, people who went to Maryland Mayhem, they said mixed reviews about this one. Everyone loved the Nexus Pro X. But the Aeon Pro X was kind of like a mixed bag. Some people were like, okay. Other people were like, it doesn't perform like we wanted it to. I don't go by other people's opinions. I'm going to actually test this out myself and see how it works. And I'll give you my personal opinion about that and show you the numbers. Now, I did not get to use this one in battle, but it did score a few hits when we were actually out in the field battle. Somebody actually needed to borrow a 150 cap blaster, and I said I got the Aeon Pro. It says on the box it shoots up to 150 feet. Usually that's a good indicator as to the feet per second that you can get with it. So we'll see. Now, let's talk about this blaster because it does come with a couple things inside the box. For starters, one of the things that they provide are the safety glasses. These were actually used. That's why they have a little bit of a smudge on them. And they are very similar to the ones that come with the Nexus Pro X, complete with the orange trim and the extendable legs. And much like the ones that come with the Nexus Pro X, they don't work if you have regular glasses. Pouty face. Rather than going on that tangent again, let's talk about the blaster itself. Now, it does come with this really sharp-looking purple magazine. This is Talon compatible. I will tell you that, yes, they do fit inside of the worker Talon adapters. When it comes to removing them, though, if you do not have the ones with the mag release, be prepared to pull hard because they don't want to release always very easily. But that's kind of good because that way they don't just fall out. Now, this blaster itself, a lot of people when they first saw it online thought this was just a sticker. No, this is actually molded plastic, and these colors are in the plastic itself. So if you want to paint this thing, be prepared to do some sanding in order to get rid of this, and that is textured. It feels really nice. Now, this blaster, the plastic does feel pretty solid, and here's the other thing you'll notice about this blaster. No open top. So you cannot top load the breech like you could in the original Aeon Pro. Now, it does come with a P-car barrel, which just pops in and out. Unfortunately, it does not come with the actual P-car holder on the side like the Nexus Pro does, the Nexus Pro X does. So if you have a Nexus Pro, honestly, you should be using the B-car anyways, but you could actually grab the holder, put it on these Picatinny rails, and there you go. That way, if you're not using this, you're fine. Cool thing about the Nexus Pro is that if you have the B car in there, it does have the holder for the P car up top. So there you go. Now, this blaster does feature slam fire. And this is kind of a tough prime, so slam fire is relative. It's not as easy to prime as the actual Nexus Pro X is, only because of the fact of the top handle. It also does have something that I personally love, an end strike buttstock attachment. So for today's example, I'm going to actually use this worker extendable buttstock, slap it on there, and that is pretty sharp looking. That actually gives you something to brace while you slam fire. Regarding magazine compatibility, not only can it use the original magazines, it can also use, sorry, this is not the original, this is the new Talon magazines. It can also use the original Dart Zone magazines, which is nice because if you have plenty of these lying around, you don't have to swap them out. And the darts do fire from it. Now I want to test are the Nerf magazines. These are the ones for the Strife X at 2 for $9.99. If you can actually get these, not a bad deal, not going to lie. I did make a short video where if you sand these ridges down completely, they do also fit inside of the Worker Talon magazine adapters. So $9.99, pretty good shot. And it does fire with them, so there you go. I'm gonna have to pick up darts here. So all in all, I'll tell you, this blaster, it does feel pretty comfortable. You do have 3 Picatinny rails, 4 actually. You have 2 on the side, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. So if you wanted to add a sight up here, you can go ahead and do so. Of course, the actual priming handle does equate to an iron sight. You can see the 2 little ridges there, and it lines up well up there with the front. You do have a trigger safety, and then you have a mag release here that you can just drop down with your trigger finger, and that does that, or you can just manually do the magazine release like so. I'll be honest with you, I don't know why you would do that, especially when you can literally just use your trigger finger and then keep your middle finger on the mag release, and that's it. Will it gravity drop? It does gravity drop, which is kind of nice. That's kind of awesome, because that way you're firing, you're empty. Okay, you grab your other magazine, you slap it in, you are ready to go. So, kudos to Dart Zone for doing this one. Now, this does retail at $24.97 at your local Walmart stores, which it is a bargain in my opinion, because for what you get out of this blaster, you are paying the equivalent of I don't want to say a lesser brand, but a lesser quality Nerf blaster. For example, the new Zombie line right now, their version of the Zombie Bolt Action Retaliator nonsense, whatever it's called, it's probably some weird name. That one actually retails around $26. So for less of a price, you could pick up an Aeon Pro X, which performs, well, it's a different type of blaster. I shouldn't say that, because Nerf, of course, is stuck in that 8 to 16 or 8 to 12-year-old mentality. This is more for the teenage and up. So now let's talk numbers. I'm actually going to run this through the chronograph test and do an accuracy test, and we'll see if I can get a distance test here with the weather holding up. Nice. And now one shot with the bamboo dart. Time to test the accuracy on the Aeon Pro X. You know the drill if you've seen my videos before. Aiming for that basket back there. And we're going to actually fire 10 rounds, and then I'm going to take you outside to see how well it does at 60 feet. If you've never seen my videos before, that is about 27 to 30 feet away from me. Okay, so here's what I noticed. I'll be honest with you, this actual iron sight, when you use it properly, which I was not my first couple of shots, it does work. Other than that, it does aim a little bit high if you're not lining it up properly. I will be honest with you, part of it is because of the fact that this blaster, when you hold it up like this, that kind of gets in the way. So it's kind of hard. But again, someone else who actually has a smaller head than I do wouldn't be able to aim this thing properly. So I'm going to say that it's pretty accurate, you know. Definitely a lot more accurate than some of the other offerings out there, but not as accurate as, say, the Nexus Pro, the way that that sight is set up. If you're actually going to buy this blaster, I highly recommend doing something with a sight up here. Of course, this is mounted on here already, so you're going to have to get like a red dot sight or something that can mount over here to help you aim better. That's just my opinion. We're going to go ahead and actually recover these darts, and I'm going to go outside and test the accuracy at 60 feet. All right, so what we're aiming for is that second post right there. I'm going to set up my shot. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little awkward for me because Miss Normatico set up a container garden here next to me, so it's taking up a little bit of space. Let me switch to the other side here. So one of the shots hit dead on. The other shot did not. Obviously, if you can't tell by the wind noise, it is pretty gusty here, so that probably did affect it. All in all, at 60 feet, I would say that it is relatively okay with accuracy. You know, I was able to line up my shot properly, so there is that. There's no excuse other than the wind, which is blowing at about, I'm going to have to guess, around 10 miles an hour. So there you go. Up next, the distance test. All right, we're here at the parking lot range with the Aeon Pro X. As you can see, I have the extended stock on here. We're going to do a couple of different shots here. We're going to do a angled shot and a straight shot to test out the distance. Then I'm going to test out the slam fire to see how much farther it can get with slam fire versus regular standard shooting. That got pretty far. All right, now let's do a couple of slam fire. I'm gonna do a quick dart recovery. We'll be back with those numbers. All right, so this is an honest blaster. The box does promote up to 150 feet. It meets that mark and then beats it by about 15 with the angled shot. With the straight shot, we got 125 feet, which is pretty darn good. When you actually use slam fire, that drops down. The ranges were anywhere between 105 to 115 feet. 115 feet being the furthest one, or I should say the first one, with 105 being the third shot. So that's expected with slam fire. Of course, the spring does not compress as much, but that is still excellent performance. I can definitely see how somebody got tagged out with this during the battle where we used it at when I first bought this blaster. I will tell you that the slam fire, the priming mechanism, it is very smooth. Some people find it easier to go to the side and then prime it this way, but either way, it is up to you. I do highly recommend, if you're going to be using slam fire, to actually load up with a butt stock, because that way you can actually brace it and fire easier. Up next, my final thoughts regarding the Aeon Pro X. And we are back with our final thoughts regarding the Aeon Pro X. I'll be honest with you, I dig it. It was a very much needed improvement over the original Aeon Pro. However, like all blasters, it has its pros pun intended, and its cons. So here is my first major con regarding the Aeon Pro X. I do not see why, in order to get the increased performance, we had to surrender the ability of being able to utilize half darts or standard length darts. Me, personally, while I prefer the half-length darts, there are some people out there that prefer to use standard length darts, and that is okay. I wish that they would have actually made this much like the original, where you could actually just do either and just have the increased performance. I'm digging the P-Car. This is something that Dart Zone has added with their new Pro Blasters, and I like it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dart Zone. It would have been nice had you added the B car to it. However, when you're only paying $24 for this blaster and the B car retails at $20 online, yeah, I can understand why you don't include all of it. The added attachment for the buttstock, chef's kiss. I'll be honest with you, with this Prime, even though you can slam fire, holding it up like this, if you don't have a strong upper arm strength, it's going to be a little bit difficult to you. You're not going to be able to fire as quickly as you'd like to. Of course, I'm using my left hand. This is my strong hand. Anyways, but when you add the buttstock to it, that actually makes it a lot easier for you to be able to brace and pull, and it is really nice. Now, regarding the buttstocks, you can use any standard Nerf brand buttstock with this, or you can also use the worker brands. I'm digging the way this one actually looks, and the fact that it's extendable makes it even better, because that way you can adjust it however you need to. Performance-wise, you know what? I lent this out for a 150 cap round, and every single shot was above 150. Now, I would not use this in a 250 cap round. However, with a 150, as long as it's a soft cap and using some more used worker darts, you should hit right around that 150 range. I'll be honest with you, I was using fresher Ember darts, and those Ember darts lately, I don't know if I got a amazing batch of them or not, but they are fire. Now, when I actually shot a bamboo dart here, it approximated the performance of the Nexus Pro X when it came to FPS. But again, that's with bamboo darts. And that is assuming the Nexus Pro is shooting standard Ember darts. So when you compare the two, you're looking at 190 FPS with bamboos in the Aeon Pro and 230 plus in the Nexus Pro. Already, the modding community has taken to putting some work to this blaster. They already have an extended barrel out there for some people, which actually is about this big, roughly. So, you know, that increases the performance quite a bit. When it comes to the accuracy of this blaster, I wish I would have a camera follow me around at all times, because there is I want to say a 6-inch-ish diameter pole in the center of my garage. And from my driveway, I aimed at the pole and hit it dead center twice. So, yeah, the accuracy is there when you use Ember darts. But, again, targeting with this sight, at first, it takes some getting used to. Only because of the fact that you have, I don't know, it's just a little bit weird. You have to actually bring the blaster all the way up to your eye level in order to target properly. If you're holding it like this, and you have a stock on it, I don't know. I don't necessarily like that part. But I digress. That's a me problem, not a you problem. And, well, I mean, it kind of is a blaster design problem. However, I'm not going to harp on that too much. When it comes to the distance, it is easy for me to see how someone got dinged with this blaster from a long distance away of like around 65 to 70 feet away. I was shooting a standard straight shot and hitting distances of 125 feet. So 70 is easy with this blaster, as long as you've got a good aim. So, you know what? This is a solid one. Where are you going to use this blaster? I'll be honest with you, this is not an indoor play blaster. The original Aeon Pro was kind of cutting it close there with the stock performance, using it indoors because of the fact that it was a pro level blaster technically. This one definitely is for outdoors. It is for a backyard play setting, and when it comes to ages, I'll be honest with you. You know what? It says 14 and up on the box. I'm going to have to say that you can probably knock that down to 12. They should still be able to prime this thing and go from there. G-Rex is a little bit younger than that, and he can prime it, but it's not an easy prime, like, say, for an older child or for an adult. He does require actually moving it to get some leverage, And when you are running and gunning, you don't want to have to actually do that. Anything younger than that, I would not give it to, because again, with how powerful this blaster is, someone might get hurt. If they're irresponsible, they're going to end up shooting an animal, and so on and so forth. Especially if you have a younger child that doesn't realize, oh, I'm not supposed to just shoot random people, and you have friends over, and out comes this blaster and shoots someone when they're not expecting it, it's not going to be a good time, folks. Now, for $24.97, I'll tell you, this is a great deal. Where is it going to compete at? I'll be honest with you, 150 cap. If everyone else is using a Springer, this is a good one to take out. If people are using SBLs or, just auto-fire flywheels, I hope that you have some good cover and you have a really good aim, because you might get overwhelmed just by the amount of fire. There's no way that with slam fire you're going to be able to keep up with some of those auto-fire blasters that can shoot darts of up to 20 darts per second. So that being said, pick your poison and pick your blaster wisely. Would I put it in a higher caliber range than a 150 cap? You could probably try to hit a 250 and be at the very bottom of the spectrum, but I would not risk that because of the fact that they will be able to hit you before you can actually get within range to hit them with this blaster. So there you have it. All in all, I would say that this blaster, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, with that 1 star being digged away because of the fact that, again, the aiming on the targeting site, not that great, and the lack of compatibility with standard length darts. But that's only like a quarter of a rating, so yeah. I want to thank you all for watching Secondhand Blasters. Until next time, keep on blasting.